Good evening, everyone. I am Nandakishore, and today we are going to discuss about the basics of cryptography and the types of cryptography and few algorithms in the asymmetric and symmetric cryptography. So we'll be not going into through depth, and we'll be just discussing the basics as everyone need to know from the basics, right? Some people don't know what is cryptography and how we use in the real life. So let's go from the basics. Let's start. So what cryptography is? So, in Greek origin, cryptography actually means uh, cryptography is a break of two words. Crypto means message, and writing graphy means writing. So, a normal message changed into an unreadable form when unsent, and the receiver must be able to receive the original data from the disgusted, that is the unreadable form. So, when we talk about cryptography, an intruder can gain the information which we have sent through the uh, between a network, but it is in an unreadable form. So that basically cryptography is. So, for example, if we take a WhatsApp message, so I am sending a WhatsApp message from my phone to an X person's phone. So let us say I sent a hi message to X phone. So basically, what happens in cryptography means the message which I have sent, the hi message which I have sent is sent in an encrypted form to the person X. So suppose when an hacker want to hack the intrude and read the message, so it will be in an encrypted form. So for example, it will be like xyz blah 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 instead of I, because it is in encrypted form and the hacker cannot read the actual message. So that what cryptography means. So cryptography, what is the need of cryptography? Why we need cryptography? So basically, network security is mostly achieved through the use of cryptography. So when we talk about network security, for example, network security means like a hop of networks, like a group of networks. For example, when we send data from one computer to the other system. So we need to make sure that there is no uh, uh, compromisation of security. So we use cryptography. So a network conversation may be compromised by an adversary. For example, if you are making an online transaction, and there may be the hacker intruder can obtain your credit card details and all. So the customer is unknowingly being directed to a false website. So, for example, in the daily life, we can see many hacking, hacks happen. For example, if you can take uh, for example, if you take any uh, f- uh, for example, if you take a mail id, we'll be getting a many messages like you have won this many dollars, so please send your register id or click on this mail, the below link. So basically what happens means when you click on the link which has been provided by the hacker, so your all the credentials and the data will be compromised and sent to them. So this is what happens, and this is why we need cryptography in a network. So the tip is for every transaction, or for example, if you are doing any transaction or net banking or etc. Basically, here is a tip which we have to follow. For example, if you are going to enter the password, first enter the wrong password, because like if in case it is a fake website, the wrong password will be sent to the hacker. So you can check that in case if you are logged into the wrong password, then you can easily say that it is a fake website, or it is not the official one. So this is one. So here we can see cryptography is a hidden writing. So cryptography, like principles. What are the principles of cryptographic techniques? Basically, there are there are four components in the cryptography, which is sender, receiver, plain text, and ciphertext. So what happens here is when a sender sends a plain text, it goes to the encryption format, and it is converted to the ciphertext, and later it is converted, it is decrypted, and it is again sent to the receiver. So this is these are the this is what happens in a cryptography. So crypto system, a system for encryption and decryption. What we have which we have talked. So what is who is a cryptographer? Anyone who invents an encryption algorithm. So basically, we use encryption algorithms to safeguard our safeguard the transaction or the data transfer, whatever it is, right? So we use a few algorithms. So cryptographer is one who invents such algorithms. So cryptanalyst. So cryptanalyst is the one who attempts to break encryption algorithms. For example, there are many algorithms like Rsa, Des, and uh, block cipher, etc. So cryptanalyst is the one who tries to break the algorithms, like he tries to compromise the algorithm. So basically, both the cryptographer and cryptanalyst both need to thoroughly know about the algorithm, because uh, uh, the one who knows how to build and knows how to destroy it also, because like he must know what are the loopholes and where the algorithm get compromised. So basically, uh, cryptology. So what is cryptology? Research of encryption and decryption, including both the cryptography and cryptanalysis, is known as cryptology. So here we can see the encryption techniques. So in the encryption, the inputs will be the plain text and a key. So basically, in the beside diagram, we can see that the plain text and a key are the inputs of the encryption function, and it is sent into a function, and we'll be getting a ciphertext, right? So when we are going to the decryption technique, so decryption is that where the inputs will be a ciphertext and a key. So in the beside image, we can see that uh, the ciphertext and the key are sent to the decryption function, and we will be getting the plain text. So basically, what happens means when the encryption and decryption are mostly important, and it like they are the heart of any cryptography. Like without the encryption and decryption, we can't do anything, right? So here we can see the crypto system. So basically, plain text that can be our message or anything can be sent into an encryption algorithm E, and we will be getting a ciphertext which will be in a unreadable format. Like you can't really read the plain text as it is in the ciphertext, and it will go to the decryption algorithm D, and we will be getting a plain text. So algorithm with a parameter key. So what happens? So basically, there are two types. The cryptography is divided into two, which is the symmetric and asymmetric. So symmetric cryptography, which basically means a secret key is involved, and asymmetric is basically where a public key and a private key, both the keys are involved. So here we can see the symmetric crypto system. So here we can see the formula, that is C equal to E of P of K. So where C is the ciphertext. For obtaining the ciphertext, we need to encrypt the plain text and the key with using the key, which is the secret key we'll be getting in the symmetric one. So to get the plain text, we need to apply the decryption algorithm. So basically, decryption function of the ciphertext and the key, that will be the secret key. So we can here note that in the symmetric one, the length of the key will be the same, and the basically the output and input will be the same. The length of the key will be also the same. For example, if the length of the key is 8, it will be for the encryption and decryption, it will be the both key, and it will be of same length. So asymmetric crypto system. So basically, asymmetric key system cryptography uses two separate keys. One is the private key and one is the public key. For example, you can here see the diagram of Alice and Bob. So basically, Alice uses the Bob's. So basically, Alice uses the Bob's public key to encrypt the message, and here goes to the communication direction and Bob's private key. So we use the Bob's private key to decrypt the message. So here we can see the block diagram of the asymmetric cryptography, where a plain text is sent to the encryption and the ciphertext is obtained and it is sent to an insecure channel, and a ciphertext is obtained and it is decrypted and plain text. Here we can see that we are using the public key to encrypt the algorithm, and for the decryption we are using the private key. So this is mainly the difference between an asymmetric and a symmetric one. So basically, the public key is known to everyone, to the public, or for everyone. But yeah, like for example, if the intruder want to break or intrude the, and he want to obtain the message, so he basically have the public key, but he also needs a private key, right? So this is an advantage in asymmetric. And these are the formulas for the ciphertext. It should be go to the function of public key and plain text. And for the public plain text, we need to go through the generation of key, that is the private key and the ciphertext. So here is a difference between the asymmetric and symmetric one. So symmetric algorithms is 10 to 1000 times faster than the asymmetric one, because symmetric is not that as complex as the asymmetric one. Basically we can say, so it is faster than the symmetric one. So symmetric key is 10 times shorter than asymmetric key. So basically the keys which we use in the symmetric are 10 times shorter than asymmetric one. In a asymmetric algorithm, a public key must be authenticated by the CA, who are the certified authority. So basically, the public key must be authenticated by them. Asymmetric key generator robustness. When comparing to the symmetric one, asymmetric key is mostly robust, and it can't be easily break and by the intruders or the hackers, we can say. So it can't get compromised that easily. Asymmetric algorithm is mainly used for exchange and storage of symmetric keys. So basically, asymmetric algorithm is mainly used for the exchange and storage of the symmetric keys. So let's go through the examples in that. Well, so basically, there are many algorithms when coming to the asymmetric and symmetric. When coming to the symmetric one, there are many algorithms like DES and monocypheric, polyalphabetic cipher, monoalphabetic cipher, substitution cipher, etc. So, and when coming to a asymmetric one, we are having RSA and AES and um, uh, etc. A few more. So basically, we'll be taking an example from each of them and we'll be discussing about it. So basically, we'll take first we'll be going to the symmetric one. So basically, we'll be taking here we'll take data encryption algorithm, which is a DES algorithm, and we'll go through the DES algorithm, and later we'll go to example of an asymmetric algorithm, right? Okay. So DES, the most widely used encryption schema in based on the data encryption standard adopted in 1997 by the National Bureau of Standards, that is National Institute of Standards or the National Bureau of Standards. So DES is basically the implementation of Feastal cipher. So Feastal cipher is the other one, which is the base for the DES. So it is just a 16 round Feastal structure. So the block size is of 64 bit, though the key is of 64-bit, DES has an effective key length of 56 bits, since 8 of the 64 bits of the keys are not used by the encryption algorithm. So this is the structure of the DES. Basically, here we can see that the 64-bit plain text is going to the initial permutation, and there are 16 rounds involved in the DES. And after the 16th round, we'll be having the final permutation, and the 64-bit cipher text is obtained. So here we'll be having a round key generator, and like which generates the key, and through which generates the key. Sorry, excuse me. Through which we are getting the key. We will be obtaining the secret key. Since DES is based on the Fichter cipher, all that is required to specify DES is the round function, key schedule, and any additional processing. That is the initial and final permutation which we are using here. Right. So let's go through the mechanism of the DES. So initial and final permutation. The initial and final permutations are the straight permutation box, which are also known as P boxes, that are inverses of each other. So basically, the final permutation is the reverse of the initial permutation. So they have no cryptography significance in DES. The initial and final permutation are shown here. Like example, here we can see the initial and final permutation. So the one is gone through the 8, and the two, the one is gone through the 40, and the two is gone through the 8. So like basically, it is a mixture. It is a mixture of uh, we can say the arranging differently. So here we can see the same as the final permutation, which is the reverse of the initial permutation. So we can see the round function. So the heart of the cipher is the DES function, which the round function is heart of the DES function. So DES function applies a 48-bit key to the rightmost 32-bit to produce a 32-bit output. So here we can see that we have a function, a round function of r1 minus 1 and key. So here we are inputting a 32-bit, which goes to the expansion p box, through which we get a 48 bits, and it goes through a XOR operation where we have the key. We will be having a 48-bit key, and it goes through XOR operation. So we'll be having S boxes, which are known as a substitution boxes, and later will be getting a 32-bit key, and it goes to the straight P box. So next we'll be see about the expansion permutation box. Since write input is 32-bit, we have seen, and the round key is 48-bit, we first need to expand the write input to 48-bit. So basically, we need to expand the 32-bit to into 48-bit. So permutation logic is graphically depicted in the following illustrations. So here we can see that from the bit 32, the graphical depreciation is seen, and uh, here, uh, here is we can see that the permutation logic is generally described as the table in the TES specification illustration as below. Here we can see the table where the permutation is takes place. So here we can see the 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and here we can see the 32-bit key. Right. We can see the 32-bit arranged randomly. Here we can see it XOR. So after the expansion permutation, DS does the XOR operation on the expanded right section and round key. So the round key is used only in this operation. So we'll be using XOR only in this. A round key only in this operation. Here we can see the key is only used in the XOR operation, right? So later we will be seeing about substitution box. The S boxes carry out the real mixing, which means a confusion. DES uses 8 X boxes, each with an input of 6 bit and output of 4 bit. The S boxes are basically the substitution box where you input 6 and you'll be getting in 4. For example, in the DS we are inputting 48-bit input and we are getting a 32. So SBox rule is illustrated below. So here we can see that the the first and the last bit is gets deleted in the S box, right? So that's what takes place here. So that there are total of 8 Xbox tables. The output of the 8 Xbox tables is combined into a 32 bits section. And later we will go we'll see about the straight permutation. The 32-bit output of the box is then substituted to the straight permutation with the which is shown here. So here you can see the 32-bit arranged in the straight permutation, and later we'll be seeing about the key generation. So here is the basically the diagram of the key generation. We can see the 64-bit key which goes into a parity drop, and a cipher key of 56 bits is there, and which is divided into two parts, which will be the left shift and the right shift. And basically uh, we'll do left shift. Basically, we'll be doing the left shift uh, for the keys to obtain the particular bit of key, right? So basically we'll be doing left shift to the keys. So left shift, so in DS we are having 16 rounds, right? So there is a particular rule for the left shifts also. For the rounds 1 to 96 we'll be doing only one bit left shift. On the further, for the other rounds except the 1 to 96 will be a 2 bit left shift, right? So here we can see that it is divided into 2-bit left, and the 56-bit key is divided into 28 and 28, and both are sent into a compression P box, which is a permutation box, and we'll be obtaining a round 1 key, which is a 48-bit, where we'll be doing a 1-bit left shift, and for the round 2 also we'll be doing 1 bit, and for the round 3 we'll be doing a 2-bit left shift. So here, which is the which we can say the diagram where how the key is generated. So now let me go through the analysis of the DES. The DES satisfies both the desired properties of block cipher, these two properties which makes cipher very strong. Avalanche effect, a small change in the plain text results in a very great change in the cipher text. Completeness. Each bit of the cipher text depends on the many bits of the plain. But during the last few years, cryptanalysis has found some weakness in the DES. When the keys which are selected are weak, these keys shall be avoided. So basically, we can say that, excuse me, DS has provided to be a very well designed block cipher. There are no significant cryptanalysis attacks on DES other than the extensive exhaustive key search. So now we'll be going to an asymmetric example, that is the RSA algorithm. So basically RSA algorithm is an asymmetric cryptographic algorithm, right? RSA is, so RSA algorithm is basically an asymmetric cryptographic algorithm. Asymmetric actually means that it works on two different keys, that is the public key and the private key. So basically, public key and the private key. So basically, stands for reversed Shamir-Adleman algorithm. So actually, the RSA name was divided, uh, which was ad- acquired from the three scientist names, Revesh, Shamir, and Adleman, who were these three people were the inventors of this algorithm, right? So here we can see the RSA algorithm is asymmetric cryptographic algorithm. Asymmetric actually means that it works on the two different keys, that is public key and private key, which we have already talked. I have explained. So as the name describes, the public key is given to everyone and private key is kept private. So for example, if we take in Bob and Alice, and when Bob want to send a the message to Alice. Bob and both the Bob and Alice will be having the public key, but the only the Alice will be having the private key. So here is an example, an example of asymmetric cryptography. So a client sends its public key to the server and requests for some data. So the server encrypts the data using the client's public key and sends the encrypted data. Right. The client receives this data and decrypts it. Since this is an asymmetric, no one except the browser can decrypt the data, even a third-party app has a key or a browser. So what is basically the idea behind the RSA? So the idea of RSA is based on the fact that it is difficult to factorize a large integer, right? So basically, the large, uh, we can say that the integer or the prime number is the tough the algorithm is uh, the tough the algorithm is break, right? The tough the algorithm is uh, uh, you seems to break. So the public key consists of two numbers where one number is a multiplication of two large prime numbers, and the private key is also derived from the same two public key. So if somebody can factorize the large numbers, the public private key is compromised. So that's why the huge the number is that much secure is the algorithm is, and therefore encryption strength totally lies on the key size, and if we double the triple the size, the strength of the encryption increases exponentially. Yes, so if we triple the key size, then the security will be more, but the time it takes to compute or encrypt the message increases too. So it is basically directly proportional, right? So RSA keys can be typically of 1024 or 2048 bit long, but experts believe that 2024 bit key can be broken in the near future. But till now, it seems to be an infeasible task. So basically, we'll be having a 1024 or 2048 bit long RSA keys, but till now we are using 2024 basically, and but experts say that 2024 can be broken in future, right? So the let us see the mechanism behind the RSA algorithm. So here we can see the example of generating a public key. So first we need to select two prime numbers. For example, if we take 53 and 59. So first part of the public key is we need to find an n, which will be the uh, multiplication of p and q, right? One second. So basically, we'll be having 7 steps in the RSA algorithm. The first one will be selecting two large prime numbers and calculating n, which is will be the n equal to the p into q, and calculating the Euler's coefficient function, which will be the phi of n, will be which we have to calculate. And the fourth step will be the choose the value of e, which should be greater than one and uh, uh, less than Euler torsion function, that is psi of n, and the GCD of it should be the 1. So and later we need to calculate d, which is e inverse of mod psi of n, and later we need to calculate a public key and private key. These are the steps involved in the um, RSA algorithm. One second. Yes. So here, let us take an example of these two prime numbers. For example, p equal to 53 and q equal to 59. So by doing, we get n by multiplication of p and q, that is 3127. So we also need a small exponent, say e. E must be also an integer. Not here is the condition which I have told that the you phi of n should the value of e should be less than or 1 and greater than 1 and less than psi of n, right? So let us consider it to be equal to 3. Our public key is made of n and e. So next we'll be seeing about the generation of private key. We need to calculate psi of n, So we'll be taking the Euler tangent function for a formula for the psi of n is p minus 1 and q minus 1. So we'll be obtaining psi of n as 3016 by calculating. Now calculating the private key d. So d key can be calculated by the formula k into psi of 1 plus 1 by e. So we can calculate d as this one, or else we can calculate e inverse of mod psi of 1. So if you calculate d by taking k equal to 2, we get the value of d as 2011. Now we have the public key and private key. Public key, that is n equal to 3127 and e equal to 3, and the private key d equal to 201 double. Now we will see an example of encryption of the message har, right? So basically, if you convert the hi, if you convert the letters to numbers, for example, h, that is if you take in alphabetical words a b c d e f g h, that is 8, and I will be 9. So the thus encrypted data will be c, that is a ciphertext equal to 89 e mod n, which is a formula for the encryption. And thus, our encryption data comes out to be 1394. Now we'll decrypt the 1394. So decryption will be d to c power d mod n. Thus, our encrypted data comes out to be the 8 9. That is 8 is h and I is 9. So this is how we implement RSA algorithm. So let us see the implementation technically, that is through the code, and let us run these two algorithms, that is asymmetric and asymmetric, that is DS and RSA algorithm. So here this is the code for the DS algorithm. Here I have used Java for the DS algorithm. So let's quickly run this. Uh, Sorry for the late. Yeah. So here we can see, one second. There is, yeah. So here you can see the pop-up. Enter the message to encrypt. So here I am entering the message called Hola Buenos noches, which in Spanish means hi, good evening, right? So I click OK. Yeah. So this is the encrypted data, which is encrypted using the Fistel, which is which went to 16 rounds, and we got this encrypted data, that is a ciphertext. Yeah, this is the decrypted message which I have given. Hola, buenas noches. So this is how the DS algorithm works. Now let's quickly go through the RSA algorithm, right? So the same, I have used Java, and I'm running this in the Eclipse. Yeah. So here we should enter the plain text, that is our message. I'll enter the same message. Hola, buenas noches. Enter. So here the encrypted string which we have given is hola buenas noches, and the string is bytes. That is the ciphertext which we have got using the RSA algorithm, and the decrypting bytes which we are using, and this is a decrypted string, that is a hola buenas noches. Thus, this is how the RSA and DES algorithms work, and this is how basically the cryptography works, and how we use the cryptography when comparing to the asymmetric and symmetric one. In our daily lives, most of our lives, we are using the asymmetric algorithms. Like for example, RSA algorithm we are using. For example, we can see the Google one, right? So we can see the HTTP, TPS, and we can see which algorithm they are using. Uh, One second. So here we can see the security. They are using the certificate. Uh, One second. Uh, Sorry. Here they are using the eclipsed curve algorithm, but basically, if you see for WhatsApp and for other algorithms, they will be using some RSA SHA. Here they are using SHA 256, also SHA 256 for for the WhatsApp. They are using RSA algorithms. So basically, it will be it's not like the organization doesn't use only the stick to one algorithm, like they use a hybrid one. For example, a mixture of asymmetric and symmetric RSA and DES for the more secure security purposes, right? So that's it. Thank you.